Resident Evil slash Biohazard. If Resident Evil sounds better, Biohazard looks better. Any cover using the latter name instantly becomes my favorite. This cover works because it's deceptively simple yet deeply intriguing. The way the drop of blood actually interacts with the eye is a subtle but effective touch, making it very clear that this game is not a safe space. Resident Evil 4. The Resident Evil series has a long history of varied covers. I'm still finding alternate versions of older titles even in 2025. The NTSC covers of RE4? They're fine. Leon S. Kennedy in a mid-action pose? Nothing original, but the PAL covers? That's where it gets interesting. I call these the Forest and Woods variants. The Woods cover is starkly violent. The infamous Chainsaw Man is front and center, ominous and unrelenting. The Forest cover is more subdued, but the ominous red/black combo still oozes tension. Both are perfect for a series inspired by B-movies and 50s, 60s zombie flicks. They capture a vintage horror aesthetic that I love. Ultima, Blackgate. This may look like a joke entry, but I assure you it's not. Most Ultima games have solid covers, The False Prophet, Serpent Isle, Labyrinth of Worlds, but Blackgate? It's next level. Why? Raw, unapologetic confidence. By this point, Ultima was already one of the biggest names in gaming. They didn't need flashy art. If Metallica and the Beatles could pull off a minimalist album cover, why couldn't a video game? Another World. Almost every variant of this cover features a different logo typography, but this particular one feels much more complete to me. Its logo is as alien-esque as the wonderful painting itself. One thing I've observed, but never received any confirmation for, is that Lester's open-armed stance and the light in the distance seem to mirror each other. Gran Turismo. One of the rare instances where I prefer the NTSC cover over the PAL one. The NTSC cover is confident, mysterious, and subtly hints at the unconventional direction the series takes. Remember, this is a racing franchise that chooses jazz and lounge music when others go for electronic and rock. The PAL cover is equally fantastic, a close-up of a tire with the logo embedded into it. A simple but powerful way of saying, this game does one thing better than anyone else, and we take pride in it. Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. I'm torn on this one. The NTSC cover is stunning. The cool blue tint and the way they turn the logo into a car badge is such a clean touch. It gives off a calm, inviting vibe. The PAL cover, though, entirely different story. It's sharp, high contrast, and features a car's headlight bathed in sporty red. This one doesn't say Sunday driving simulator. Both are great, but if I had to pick one, the red version takes it. Gran Turismo 4. There are two types of people in this world. One, those who immediately recognize the beauty of a Ford GT40 and smile at this cover. Two, those who learn to appreciate the beauty of the Ford GT40 because of this cover. Either way, this is a sleek, perfect composition. I wish more racing games had this level of confidence in their cover art. Mad World. Do you know why I love Platinum games? Because they unapologetically prioritize style over substance, and I adore them for it. Honestly, they might be the only game company I'd seriously love to work for. I was going to write about No More Heroes, but that game already gets plenty of attention. So I swapped it out for Mad World, which, if you're into highly stylized aesthetics like Sin City or Hellboy, is an absolute banger of a cover. Cannon Fodder. This one is iconic, so I won't elaborate much. However, I do remember reading a comment years ago about how the cover contains a series of cleverly hidden middle fingers. Maybe it was just self-imposed pareidolia, but a friend swore he spotted a few. I, too, vaguely made out at least one. But looking at it now, I was grossly mistaken. Either the comment was about another game, or my brain was playing tricks on me. Echo the Dolphin. Movies aren't the only medium where every frame can be a painting. Video games qualify too. The original Echo the Dolphin certainly does. Its audio-visual fidelity is quintessential C-punk. The Sega Genesis cover is the closest I've come to experiencing the Mandela effect. Thanks to its airbrush style and grid paper pattern, I was convinced I had seen this artwork on a Coil notebook as a kid. It wasn't until my early 20s when I got into Vaporwave that I learned Echo was a video game series, and that maybe, just maybe, I had never actually seen this art on a notebook at all. The Mega Drive cover? Just as picturesque. God Hand. For the longest time, I only knew about the NA cover, which features a heavily tattooed arm punching another tattooed person. I assumed this was the definitive cover for the game. Then I saw the Japanese cover. Stylish, aggressive, and bursting with kinetic energy. Are we seeing the punch being charged up? Or is it already midair? No matter how you interpret it, this visual perfectly matches the game's equally absurd title. Grand Theft Auto. Show of hands. How many of you knew about this? Long before Grand Theft Auto adopted its iconic disjointed panel design, the original game did something quite similar. The NTSC cover, featuring a fisheye photograph of Trump Tower, is serviceable, but the PAL cover just nails the tone. The use of real photos combined with a vintage two-tone treatment makes it feel almost like a documentary. Even the title, written in full with ellipses and quotation marks, adds to the effect. If you hear John Larroquette's Texas Chainsaw Massacre narration in your head while reading it, the cover has done its job. Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. Before Zelda covers became gorgeous somewhere around the mid-90s, Nintendo had a habit of giving its older titles the beige treatment. I think this color is underrated. When used right, it's warm, inviting. Have you ever wondered why your favorite mocha cafe feels so cozy? Here, the ruby-adorned magical sword set against a beige background gives it an aura of quiet dignity. Perfect Dark. The North American box art is iconic. A close-up of Joanna Dark, her face shrouded in dramatic lighting, setting the perfect action espionage tone. It does its job well. For years, I had no idea a Japan-exclusive version existed. This one is completely different. Moody, subdued, with Joanna Dark reclining on a sofa. The cool composition and red color palette give it an entirely different neo-noir energy. Love it! Test Drive. Ask any gearhead, seeing a lineup of legendary supercars is always a beautiful sight. Stack them vertically, bathe them in a striking red negative, and suddenly you have something worthy of framing on your wall. From top to bottom: Lamborghini Countach, Lotus Esprit Turbo, Chevrolet Corvette C4, Porsche 911 Turbo, Ferrari Testarossa, the duel Test Drive 2. By its very nature, racing is a duel between opponents. So it only makes sense that racing games should depict two or more cars in aggressive competition, usually from a low angle or head-on perspective. The duel takes a different approach, showing an aerial view of a blazing Ferrari F40 and a Porsche 959. Instant classic. Test Drive 3: The Passion. The third and final of the truly great Test Drive covers. Anyone who understands marketing knows that the best way to convey the passion for driving isn't through the machine, it's through the human element. This cover gets it. The sunset color grading, the effortless swagger of the driver, the sense of speed. Even the light script typography convinces you it's finally time to get a convertible and let her rip. Daikatana. When Marvin Gaye sang about death, taxes, and trouble being life's only certainties, he clearly forgot to consult a graphic designer. There are actually two more: red/black and yellow/black color combos. Even the most basic designer can use these to turn something ordinary into something striking. I love how this cover neatly arranges its text in a bento box layout. It's structured, clean, and visually engaging. SSX On Tour. Unlike the other entries in this franchise, this one goes for a doodle-heavy, hand-drawn aesthetic. Honestly, Smart move. Slam books and personalized high five and MySpace pages were still a thing back then, so this fit right in. Out of all the covers in this list, this one brings the most nostalgia. You were good, EA Sports Big. You will be missed. Driver. Driver was too ahead of its time. It was also too difficult, both for its time and any time. The art direction still holds up today. It carries a distinct flavor of 90s edginess and soul of 60s and 70s car movies. If you've seen the likes of Bullet and French Connection, you know what I'm talking about. This cover is minimal and timeless, the kind of design that only works for something generically titled. The Dig. The Dig often gets overshadowed when discussing LucasArts adventure games, which is unfair. It's a visually stunning experience with a heavy emphasis on exploration and mystery. 3 elements the cover art captures perfectly. Future Wars, Adventures in Time. Instantly striking. The dripping paint acting as a portal to outer space is peak aesthetic. This cover satisfies me to no end. The uncommon low-angle perspective and beautiful airbrush style really make it a lovely piece of art. Mist, at once, nostalgic and worthy of framing on your wall. The cover depicts an isometric bird's-eye view of the Mist Island, including a full look at the infuriating Channelwood age tree. I swear, if I'd properly examined the cover before my first playthrough, I wouldn't have wasted 30 minutes trying to find it. Heiankyo Alien. As far as Game Boy covers go, this one stands out. Once you get past the initial confusion of realizing it's a negative image of some alien thing with arms sprouting from its forehead. I just like it, okay? American McGee's Alice. Both Alice and its sequel, Madness Returns, are some of the most stylish and artistically chef's kiss PC games ever made. Game covers featuring in-game models tend to age poorly due to evolving technology. Yet despite releasing in 2000, this cover still holds up. Why? Because brilliant art direction is timeless. Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX 2. Understated and clean. Unlike most extreme sports covers, which tend to be loud and aggressive, this one is refined. The ramp-style line art and list of tricks suggest an actual design philosophy, rather than just throwing in a chaotic collage of cool things. Limbo. Limbo's art style, both in-game and on the cover, is deeply rooted in German expressionism. Even the jagged typography is a nod to the movement, bringing to mind Fritz Lang's films, specifically M and Metropolis. Ikaruga. Ikaruga was developed as a spiritual successor to Radiant Silvergun, by then, a giant in the shmup genre. Naturally, it had a lot to live up to. Like many titles on this list, Ikaruga has several regional cover variants, each adorned with distinct artwork by the incredibly talented Yasushi Suzuki. Out of all of them, the NTSC Dreamcast cover is my personal favorite. Its dramatic, desaturated composition and warm color palette give it a feel of power. Carouse, why do falling feathers make for dreamlike pretty imagery? Sine Mora does it too? What gives? Sine Mora. This one's got it all. A serious-sounding Latin phrase, blood brush splatter, and falling feathers. One look at it, and you just know you're in for a no-nonsense, stiff upper lip experience. R-Type Final. Vehicle lineups will never not be cool. Not the biggest fan of the logo, but seeing some of the major R-Type ships lined up on a reflective floor against a stark white background, that does something nice to the good old monkey brain. Beneath a Steel Sky. Another example of stark confidence in design. It's simply the game's logo set against a black background, but when the logo is this good, that's all you need. Quarantine. A perfect marriage of copywriting and design. This cover is a case study in why, when discussing video games as an art form, the cover art should be included in that discussion. Jet Grind Radio. A good part of me wishes the Dreamcast had won the early 2000s console wars, because then we'd see more covers like this. endearing, pleasing, full of life. A perfect encapsulation of Jet Grind Radio's attitude, energy, and rebellion. Hired Guns. How many game covers do you know that feature a first-person perspective? This composition immediately pulls you in. Despite featuring 4 characters in frame, it never feels cluttered, and the art style, fantastic. Silent Hill, the best Silent Hill cover ever. It's clearly a close-up of a bathroom tile wall, a supposedly safe and sterile space. But the smeared blood suggests that not even that is safe anymore. Silent Hill 2. This cover gives me the same sinister energy as The Red Ceiling, a famous William Eggleston photograph. There's something inexplicably terrifying about it, like some horror lurks just beyond the frame. Patapon. We've all collectively forgotten about Patapon, haven't we? It's been ages since I've heard anyone gush about this series, so maybe showcasing all 3 excellent covers in this article can help make up for that. Scourge. Hive. The Game Boy Advance library never disappoints. This game is among the best on the handheld. The yellow-black color scheme is used to great effect here. It's a fantastic cover. Tactics Ogre. Everything about this cover is majestic. The art style, the characters' battle-ready composure, their costumes, the giant flag in the background, and that gold-plated logo at the bottom. It's no secret that Japanese cover art can be stunning, but this one takes the cake. The Guardian Legend. If Sarah Kerrigan from StarCraft got the Hajime Sorayama treatment, I imagine the result would look something like this. Need for Speed, Most Wanted, sharp, vibrant, eye-catching, fresh, striking. This, ladies and gentlemen, is great graphic design in motion, literally. Everything about this cover is so satisfying. It pleases me. I absolutely love the killer use of red, black, and white and the appropriate use of the skewed perspective that doesn't feel forced or, a last-minute attempt at fusing kinetic energy to the composition. BioForge. Talk about an arresting cover that stops you in your tracks. Rarely has a video game cover made me want to know more about the game, but BioForge is one of the few that successfully did it. I like how it looks more like an industrial band's album cover more than that of a video game. The alien, hazardous, glowing green gives off an ominous feeling of something off-worldly, sinister, a la System Shock, and that spells winner in my book. Wasteland. For this entry, it's all about perspective. Think about it. How many covers feature a top-down view? Not too many. And Wasteland uses this to great dramatic effect. Everything is covered in gorgeous duotone, the accentuated shadows contributing much to the drama and tension to the standoff. The thick borders and the heavy square font, in yellow no less, are also a nice touch. Unrest. Unrest is a gorgeous-looking RPG made by an Indian company that takes place in ancient India. It is only natural that the logo should reflect the theme. Though written in English, the title borrows the unique style from the Sanskrit language and often includes a native translation below it. The flowing robe behind the text is a nice touch to the royal, ancient feel of the logo. Dune 2, Battle for Arrakis, foreboding. Very few covers grab your attention and curiosity as quickly as this one. Elemental Gimmick Gear. If you told me this was a panel from Berserk, I'd believe you. Resistance 3. Instantly iconic. Nothing more to be said. Snatcher. Even though this list is unranked, I saved my favorite 2 for last. These 6 covers are, to me, where flawless art direction and composition peaked. If anyone were to ask me now about my favorite cover of all time, I'd collectively rank these at the top spot. Long before Kojima-san reinvented gaming with Metal Gear Solid, he made the equally cinematic and superb Snatcher. Basically a playable adult anime, Snatcher wears its inspirations on its trenchcoat sleeves, namely Blade Runner. MSX, pure neo-noir perfection. The golden glow on the lightly embossed logo looks like it was photographed inside Tyrell's building during Blade Runner's iconic sunset sequence. PS1, a stunning watercolor-esque illustration. I love the blend of hard outlines and soft colors, not to mention the cinematic allusion to the poster of The Driver, 1978 Walter Hill. Stylish and timeless. Mega CD, a bold cyberpunk statement. The artwork feels like a 007 gun barrel sequence, reimagined with a futuristic, neon-drenched aesthetic. Here we are, the final entry. These 3 Nights into Dreams covers are simply unmatched in their dreamlike quality. For a game with such a surreal title, the artwork had to match its energy. Fortunately, the long box covers deliver, PAL. Nights strikes a Pied Piper-like pose against a starry, celestial backdrop. NTSC, a more futuristic take, with Nights gliding through a sleek, airbrushed cityscape. This is where the concept of dreamwave, a micro-genre that embraces nostalgic, floaty, subconscious imagery, comes into play. A joint album by vaporwave artists Luxury Elite and Saint Pepsi perfectly embodies this aesthetic, blending hazy synths with visuals reminiscent of Mac Tonight, McDonald's surreal 80s and 90s mascot. Whenever I see these covers, my brain immediately starts playing Saint Pepsi's Private Caller. Had it been up to me, Nights, not Mac Tonight, would be the official mascot of Dreamwave. Then there's the square jewel case cover, which takes a completely different approach. Instead of dreamy surrealism, it leans into pure 90s graphic design. Bright colors, meticulously arranged elements, a clean layout, even the text aligns perfectly with the perspective of the key visual. These covers hit all the right notes.